Since many people has questioned how entertainment industry functions, I invited my friend Ayano to talk a bit about her experience with Japanese entertainment industry.
Yeah, so I was in the business strategy unit, so which is right under. So at that time, it was Matsuda-san that was leading the company, and the CEO was Kuroiwa-san, who is now the president of avex, and I was working under him, doing international strategy. I also worked at the Singapore department for a little bit. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
So today, our topic is going to be entertainment gyokai, which means the entertainment industry in Asia, and we'll cover a little bit about the entertainment industry in the US. And so first, let's get into entertainment in Japan, which I think Ayano is most familiar with. How do you like the current development of the music industry? Because I know like 20 years ago, avex used to lead the Asia music, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we're kind of in a very interesting state. Traditional hasn't really changed. We're still consuming CDs, where like last year finally streaming. So I think in terms of streaming, Japan was like 2 or 3 years late, maybe more. And then finally streaming beat internet, like iTunes downloads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of Japanese artists would not put their stuff on streaming services. So they're starting to. They're finally starting to. So like Arashi actually, like this year, like they released stuff on Spotify, and that's a huge deal considering that like up until a few years ago, Johnny's wouldn't even put their artists' pictures on.
Oh, that's right.
On the internet, on the news, right?
I remember that.
Yeah.
They always use one picture for every news.
Yes,
every
right. And it's always like hand drawn by someone, right? It's like
I think there was dog art like well known too, but I guess straw art was interesting.
yeah, and then there's so lately a lot of people are leaving the major productions, which is a key word in the Japanese industry, but so the Japanese entertainment industry is like kind of controlled by all these productions and these media companies, but a lot of artists are now leaving these productions and starting their own careers on like YouTube or on social media.
When people gained a lot of fame, they wouldn't really need their agency to actually bring them the resources. They have resources themselves, which is their fame, and people will reach out to them directly. That's why we don't need the agencies anymore. That's the same reason.
Production, these are like artist productions. So they had really close bonds with like TV stations, and so in Japan, almost everyone consumes their entertainment through TV, and so like they had these really close bonds, and then so in order for a TV station to like want to cast, let's say like star A for their new drama, then they would have to go through the agency, and they can't just directly contact the actor. They still have to, even if they do contact the manager or the artist directly, they would still have to go through the agency and then
higher level executive level people to get approvals.
Yes, and how that works, it's like a win-win situation too, because like for the agencies, okay, fine, we'll cast you star A, but in order for us to let you cast star A for this drama, then please use B, who is an up-and-coming artist, and please use for the soundtrack band C, who is our artist who we're trying to really promote. So like it's called a barter system. But so it was really hard to break that, and then like TV stations knew that if they didn't follow that system, then in the future they wouldn't be able to cast the hottest stars.
They're not saying that, oh, please help us to bring this person. They're like, oh, in the future I will not work with you. But that's a huge threat, actually. Like in China, I think there's a similar issues as well. Like for example, we have really famous audition shows where most of the young artists want to attend, and some of the young artists come from like very famous background, like agencies where the boys group, like TS Boys, do you know that? So they're very famous in China. And I think there was a girl coming from the same agency, and she attended like an audition program. But she wasn't top 10, so she was not actually about to debut. So the agency discussed with the production company saying that, oh, if this girl is not going to debut, we will not allow you to shoot the TF Boys for their annual concert. So their annual concert will not be streaming through your platform. And so the company said, oh, I still want TF Boys concert to stream on my platform. That's why they allow the girl to join the debut group as number 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that kind of system does exist in China as well.
It does exist. And that's why like when the girl actually got selected, a lot of people were like, oh, that's for such a surprise.
Do you think they brought that system from K-pop, which also borrowed that system from Japan?
So you mean the audition system or like
like all the politics?
the politics system? I think politics just exists everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Like every industry has politics. Right.
Actors or talents, they mostly make their money off of advertisements. Commercials are a huge thing, but the problem with commercials is that like you really have to fit the image of that company.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing, like lately there's been a lot of scandals, and like let's say a talent that was cast in schools, like maybe a cram schools, like commercial. But then they got arrested for using drugs or like some alcohol related something.
Okay.
And then like that completely breaks the the pure like wholesome I'm a face of cram school kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like that's it brings in lots of money, but there's so much risk, and you're kind of bound to follow the rules. And
if the person who accidentally got caught because of drug or because of scandals, does he have to pay back to the advertisement companies?
yeah, there's penalty fees.
Oh no.
It really depends on if like the artist pays or if the agency pays. But then even if the agency pays, they kind of have to like pay back to the agency in the long run. So they're kind of like bound to stay with the agency's contract.
Agency's contract?
Yeah, so it's like, oh well, you owe us, so you gotta stay with us. And so like they kind of like don't have much like say in their careers that much, while they're just bound under like this debt that they have.
But then if the person is unable to make the money, if the agency is willing to still bind him with, how do they sell money with a person who is in scandal, or how do they sell the money if the person is no longer that popular?
So worst case, they might have to release some risque photo books.
Oh no.
movies.
Oh, I see. Like
Yeah.
those adult videos.
It doesn't even have to go as far as adult videos,
Okay.
because I think if they become an adult star, that's usually after they get fired from an agency and they have no other way to like make money. So they kind of get offered these adult video contracts.
Oh, that's true.
But even if they didn't get fired from that major agency, they can still release more of an artistic like nude or something.
But I just see those new books in like young age girls. Like,
Yeah.
You know June 5, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a very young 2학년인 like a middle school second year kid. I thought she released her like very like Braja like photo
Like a
books.
gravure.
Yeah. When she was like 14 or 15 years old. Isn't that just like normal stuff? Is that normal for Japan?
It's normal for Japan.
For every young
for every
artist.
there's a lot of like up and coming actresses, like magazines, like monthly magazines
Oh.
with like young teenager girls in bikinis or underwear posing, and that's just it's just a normal way to promote, just like very fashionable.
That's true.
Yeah, but
What if they don't feel comfortable with that? Or they're underage?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
this from an international perspective, like it's kind of like wow, like you're exploiting these underage girls. But I don't know. It's just a way, you know, because the way Japanese society works is like, oh, that's like atarimane. That's been the tradition. Like you gotta follow the tradition kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think the artists have much say, especially when they're still up and coming. Ama-chan,
absolutely.
diver. Yeah.
Like, so she just disappeared from entertainment gyokai.
Yeah. So she is back.
Oh, she's back.
She's back, but under a different name. So her name is Nonenena.
Right.
And now she is, you know, she has a career as Non. That's her new name, her new stage name.
Different agency.
It's a different agency. So that's also another shady part about the Japanese entertainment industry is that I think she ended her contract with her performer, with Pro, on bad terms, and so she isn't allowed to use the stage name that she was using at Lepro, which also happens to be her legally, you know,
real name.
Oh
Jesus, so messed up.
Yes. So she just had to she still wanted to be an actress. So she just decided to get a new stage name and go under that. But still, I mean, it seems like she had. Nowadays, we see a lot of on TV and on social media. But I think for a long time, she really struggled to even be given a chance to go on TV because of Lepro. I think there was some political thing with like Lepro and the major TV stations, the key TV stations, and they told Lepro told the TV stations to not let Mom on.
That's very messed up. Why they have such a power to control the television?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I actually do not have the answer to that. But yeah, that might be something
we can do it next episode.
Yeah, but I think like they were very, you know, I think that's also why like Lepro was very desperate to keep known from like not doing all these. Cause she's an artist. She also draws and she does all these different things. So I think like because the role of the Gainall Productions is that they like to control the image. They have a strategy and like, okay, this is how we're going to sell this artist. And you know, in many cases, it's not what the artist wants, it's what the company wants. And if like an artist just starts doing her own thing, then you know the Gainall Productions might get mad, and maybe that's why like Lepro wasn't very happy with no one's case.